What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I have another timetable video for you guys. In this video we're going to be going over all the timetables that I've acquired during the last chunk of 2023 and the first chunk of 2024. So as I record this first part of the video, I only have about half of the total timetables that I'm going to go through in this video, and for reference I have 7 that I want to take a look at in this part. So there's going to be quite a few timetables, and this video is definitely going to be stretched out, so just bear with me. I get it if timetables aren't necessarily your thing, but I just do it just because I think it's fun to look through these and just to kind of show how everything was back in the day. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first 3 timetables. These 3 I acquired during the 2023 MSP Airline Collectibles Show in October of 2023. Had a fantastic time there. You'll see a card now that will link to the Collectible Show experience video that I did, which was pretty good. Stayed there for about a few hours before I went to do some plane spotting later that afternoon up at Cargo Road. So go in order at least of how I believe I acquired them. I don't remember exactly which one I got first and then second and then third. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. Only fitting that we have a Northwest timetable in here from that show. This is the Northwest Employee System timetable from November 1st of 1986. You'll note that you have the old thermometer logo, and this was after the Republic merger as well, just shortly after they finished that acquisition. And they kept the thermometer logo for a few more years after this. It wasn't until around '89 when they introduced the bowling shoe livery. So you'll see on the inside, this is just like any other Northwest timetable that you'd find. Everything is sorted by airport codes, both the from and then the to, so your origin and destinations, all that fun stuff. I'll go ahead and find Sioux Falls because it's only fitting. Then take a look at those for the applicable timetables, and then for everything else, I'll just show a random city. It takes me quite a bit of time because this folds out pretty much all the way, so it's like this big long line. I could theoretically hang this all up as one, but that would take quite a bit of space on my wall. So if I look for FSD, it is at the bottom of this page, and there you can see it. Everything is to Minneapolis, but there is one Rapid City, and looks like a DC 950 in there, which is really cool. It would have all been in the thermometer livery at the time. Also got some 727s and a couple Airlink services, which I'm not 100% sure what those would have been on. Probably Metroliners, or I don't know about the Saab just yet. The Saabs, I think, came a little bit later, but I have to look into how everything was structured with the Northwest Airlink services back in the day. So now I begin the process of folding all of this back up, which is going to be a bit difficult to do. All right, it took me a little bit of time to fold this back up. I'm not necessarily an expert on folding up timetables back into their folded position, so we'll leave that one aside, and we'll check out the next timetable. This is Continental Airlines from June 1st of 1982. Together We're Even Better, and this was right at the time when they began to merge with Texas International. That's the star there with the blue background for the tail in that case. Introducing Continental Shuttle Service, a lower-priced, faster way to travel between cities and between planes. Continental and Texas International Airlines have gotten together, and this means even better service for you. We want to make your travel as easy, hassle-free, and fun as possible. The lowest fares available, a free drinks coupon booklet, and free shuttle service. And then here is the North American route system for Continental, which is marked in red, and then the Texas International is in blue. So you see Continental had a big hub at Denver Stapleton, and then Texas International mainly out of Houston, which looks really nice. And you can see there's also a couple routes that were served by both airlines, and that is marked in black. There's also a map of the Houston International Airport's Terminal C, which would have been for Texas International's hub. And I think that's all the maps and stuff. Everything else is all timetables. There's a couple other little pages as well that I'll show just for fun. So you see there's a little key on how to use it, and then all your airport codes, all that fun stuff. Obviously, Sioux Falls nowhere near close to getting Continental. I think the closest that we got to was like when around the Frontier era, later in the 80s. But otherwise, Sioux Falls never got Continental. I'll just find a random city to take a look at, so just look to a random page. Let's do Little Rock, Arkansas. So if I got any Little Rock viewers, I think you'll be interested in this. So you can see, just like your standard timetable, nothing too crazy in here, but yeah, very, very nice. Like the structure of these old school timetables. Flip to the back, you got some passenger information, some 800 toll-free numbers, which probably don't work anymore, so don't try calling those. city ticket office information and general reservations and passenger information, a bunch of numbers there, which again, probably don't work. Air freight information and another little advertisement. We've got great tours to the South Pacific. If you've been dreaming about the beaches of Fiji, Australia's Great Barrier Reef and Outback, New Zealand's snow-capped mountains, and the great surf of the South Pacific, Continental has all kinds of tours for all kinds of budgets. Very nice. And then Fly Drive Packages advertisement. Join Flight Bank, the fastest way to fly free and get a free first class upgrade. And there's the back of the timetable, which is the same as the front. So very nice. Part of why I only got that was because it had the Texas International merger, and all those merger timetables I find very fascinating. Now let's check out the last timetable that I acquired from the 2023 MSP Airline Collectibles Show. And we're going to really throw it back for this one. We've got a Western Airlines timetable from August of 1957. I thought this was right around when Western started, but no, that was 1955, so I'm off by a couple of years here. I got that confused with North Central. So you can see their timetable structure is much different, and back in the old days, they were a lot more open about listing aircraft types. So you can see that there on the top. This is all your northbound stuff from Mexico City up to Seattle, Tacoma, so mainly along like the west coast, and they have the southbound stuff as well. Back in this day, they had DC-6s and Convairs, I believe. I think they had some DC-3s, but they're not very prominent. I think they do come up a little bit later, which I'll find in the Sioux Falls section on here, which is buried quite a bit in this timetable. There's a lot to go through here. Let's do the eastbound and westbound stuff between, you have like San Francisco to Minneapolis, which Sioux Falls was connected to. And there you go. So you can see the red are the DC-6 Champagne flights, which are really cool. And Sioux Falls did get these at one point. I don't think it was at this particular time that they got the Champagne flights, but I know a little bit later on they did get some of these later in the 50s and even into the early 60s. Here's some condensed schedules at the bottom and another little advertisement for a Champagne flight between Los Angeles and Portland, Oregon. And this really gives off the old paper smell. I just got a big whiff of that as I was flipping through the pages. There's another Champagne flight advertisement, this one to Mexico City, through one carrier service from all the West. And then again, on the back, you got some fares for deluxe service and then for Coachmaster service, and then a full-on Western route map. So Sioux Falls direct services included to Denver, to Minneapolis, and then up to Pierre, which is how it stayed for many, many years. And then there's a legend of some key information. Now, nonstop service between Los Angeles and Mexico City. So there you can see it there. And then some other connecting services down there. And then there's some ground service information just on the back side of this timetable. So very nice. Now move on to the timetables that I acquired for Christmas. I have 4 of them here. I did have a couple more on the list, but it does not look like they arrived. I was able to find one of them again on eBay, so I have that on the way, along with a bunch more that I found, so you'll be seeing that here in the next segment. We're going to go ahead and start with let's do the quick reference stuff first, because those are the smallest. So right here, I have a pair of Western Airlines quick reference timetables for Sioux Falls. This one right here is dated from April to June of 1980, which I found really interesting. And then you can see in here, this just lists all the services out of Sioux Falls, both direct and connecting. So a lot of this stuff would connect through Minneapolis or Denver or Salt Lake City. Those are all of our direct services at the time. So nothing too exciting, but just because it had Sioux Falls on it, I was quite fascinated. There's a Western Way East, daily nonstops to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and connections to Washington, D.C. The Western Way to Fly. It's the only way to fly. And then there's a little route map on the back showing all the services out of Sioux Falls, all the possible services that you can get on, which looks really nice, and then some other basic information underneath. And it's the same case here in 1981, though this one is only just folds open like that. I mean, like literally, I could put this all in one frame and you could scan this and, screenshot this or whatever. I'm free to have people screenshot this because I feel like all this timetable stuff should be put on the internet for everyone to enjoy. So here's another route map on the back for a lot more Western Airlines stuff, and you can see some service to Anchorage and London, and then all the way down to Honolulu and Mexico City and Miami, so they well expanded during that time. But very nice, so happy to have that, and there'll be some nice retro FSD information that I can take a look at for that time. Moving on, we've got a Frontier Airlines timetable. This is from February 1st, 1982, and Madison and Sioux Falls are included on here. This is why I got it. Now, they did start that service a little bit earlier. It was in October of 81, but I couldn't find a timetable from that point, so the closest that I could find was this one from the following February. You see all the new services as well, so to Seattle-Tacoma, Reno, Lake Tahoe, Orange County, Guadalajara, Houston, and Atlanta. Flip it open, and here you can see a lot more of the basic timetable stuff, nothing too fancy, so I'll go ahead and find the section for Sioux Falls. Here's the Sioux Falls section. There's a nice little thing that says nonstop service to Denver, and I'll find one of our direct services. I'm just trying to find Denver. It's probably easier that way, so there you go. Flights number 7 and 353, and they had a little information thing that shows what the flights are operated on. So flight numbers 1 to 699 are on the 737, and then 800 to 969 are on the Convair 580. And I did look through this. No flight numbers were within that range, so everything at this time into Sioux Falls would have been on the 737. So still need to find one of those. I really hope Aero Classics is another one of those. If I can't find one here on eBay, it's getting ridiculous. Here's the backside, which has that flight number information stuff. And then some other basic passenger information, and then Frontier Airlines stuff on the bottom. And there is a route map in here as well, which is in the middle of this timetable. So there it is. Found it here. This is the full route map, and you can see all of our direct services over to Madison, Wisconsin, and then around this time we did get Fargo as well, and then obviously the direct to their hub in Denver, Stapleton. And then whoever previously owned this timetable wrote down some stuff. I would assume this is like airport codes of some kind, which looks pretty interesting. So if anybody recognizes that handwriting, I'd be interested to hear about why that was written. It's always nice to get those timetables that have like handwriting in them, because it is interesting to see what the previous owner of these timetables did with them, whether to keep track of particular flights or new services, new destinations, etc., all that fun stuff. And then the last timetable I have in here, this one is quite a special one. We've got ourselves a Northern Airlines timetable. This is from around the fall of 1981. Now, if you did watch my Retro FSD update, after I did the one in 1981, I forgot what year I did the month after I did 81. I did show this particular picture, and this is from this timetable. So this is an Aerospatiale Nord 262 turboprop aircraft that Northern Airlines had. And as far as I know, this is the only picture that exists of a Northern Nord 262. Flip it open, you can see some reservation information, a phone number, which again, probably doesn't work anymore. Either that or somebody now has it, and they probably, I don't know if they get those kinds of phone calls anymore. You can see Northern Airlines. Northern introduces the Nord 262 airliner, a high level of comfort and convenience. And then here is an actual Northern Airlines route map in here, which looks really nice. You can see everything is about the same as what I figured. Sioux Falls to Minneapolis, Brookings, and Mitchell. Nothing to Sioux City, though, which is a bit interesting. And then here is a system timetable in here, which looks really nice. So feel free to pause at each of these segments if you want to see a particular part. Also includes some fare information, which I find really nice. And then on the back, we got some additional service after October 18th, 1981. And then Northern Airlines Small Package Express advertisement, and then general passenger information. And then their headquarters at 1 Apple Tree Square in Minneapolis. And then there's also a little new service thing. Northern, the regional airline that makes sense. New air service to Pierce, Sioux Falls, Huron, Sioux City, Mitchell, Brookings, Minneapolis, and Lincoln, Nebraska. And those are all the timetables that I have for right now. We'll go ahead and cut over to the next segment with all of my other timetables that I have. We'll have 9 more to take a look at. Alright, and I am back with the second part of this timetable video. The next set just came in today, and I've got a total of 9 to take a look at here. So we got quite a few to go through. And again, we'll go in order from oldest to newest. So put the stack off to the side. And you want to know the best part? I ordered 9 more, so there will be another timetable video coming out later. So the first timetable that we'll take a look at is this American Airlines quick reference timetable from June 1st of 1975 for Los Angeles, Ontario, and Palm Springs. We're American Airlines, doing what we do best, an iconic slogan that they had in the 70s, and their beautiful DC-10 luxury liner. There isn't really anything special on the inside, basically just a lot of different schedules to different cities out of Los Angeles, Ontario, and Palm Springs. I don't think there's even like a guide or anything to show all the different symbols and stuff, but you can see some reservation, telephone numbers, freight information, ticket offices, and then a little calendar on the back for the months where it's applicable, effective June 1st, and looks like it's through at least August or so. But yeah, so nothing really fancy with this particular timetable, as I said. There's a bit of a key at the bottom of each of the pages. I'll go ahead and show that real quick. So this is on the left side, and then on the right side for your different airports. Standard stuff, so nothing unusual. I have my first PSA timetables, the first of two specifically. So right here I have this PSA one from June 17th of 1977 with their iconic Catch Us slogan. Index is on page 2, schedule subject to change without notice. So there's your index page, standard stuff, reservations, you can call those numbers, which again probably don't work, different airports that they serve, and then some general passenger information right over here. And then you can see inside, this is basically how everything's structured. No particular order as to how they structure the, how they put the cities together. So there's the destination map of California, all the destinations that they served in the state, from San Diego all the way up to Sacramento, and then Lake Tahoe, which at this time they served with L-188 Electras. It is mentioned on the index page or the general information page, or in this little paragraph. Everything else is all 727s. So pretty cool stuff. So I'll just show a random page. I'll show like the Lake Tahoe page, because that's the one that's specifically mentioned. Okay, yeah, this is alphabetically ordered, so I was wrong earlier. So there's part of the Lake Tahoe stuff, effective June 22nd, so this would be 5 days after this was printed, or this went into effect, rather. Then there's the other half from San Diego, looking really nice. So nothing really fancy here. Little advertisement for Hertz. PSA country is Hertz country. One phone call does it all. When you make your flight reservations, PSA will be happy to reserve a Hertz car for you. Catch PSA, then catch Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. I have my other PSA timetable right here. This is from July 5th of 1979. New smiles to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, Long Beach, Burbank, and Ontario. Then on the back side, it's just the front part, or the back half of the front cover here, which looks really nice. So if I were to open this up like so, it would reveal the full image, which looks awesome. A bunch of their beautiful 727s with the smile livery. I've yet to get one. You can see all the index stuff again, and then the aircraft. They have gotten rid of the Electras at this point, so everything is now on the 727. Now a little Hertz Country, PSA Country's Hertz Country advertisement, reservation information, and then some quick reference schedules here. Actually, no, this is how the entire timetable is structured. So very basic, basically just the essential information, nothing too fancy here. We've got connections. It's all in who you know, and PSA has connections that are out of this world. And then PSA now connects with a bunch of airlines, a huge plethora of them. Now Nevada, Reno, and Las Vegas, over 150 flights a week to the fun capitals of the world. PSA, our smiles aren't just painted on. And I do not believe there is a route map in here, which is a bit out of the norm for a lot of these old school timetables, so yeah, that sucks. So I guess we'll have to move on. Now we got some more fun timetables here. The next one that I have is this United Airlines timetable from October 31st of 1982. So you see the picture of the state capital of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and also my hometown, downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. United's newest city. So they started Sioux Falls in September. I think it was on the 7th or 8th of that year, September 8th or 7th of 1982. So first time that they came here in about 50 years, because they previously served the city at the old Sioux Skyways Airport back in the 1930s. General passenger information on this page. Feel free to pause to read it if you wish, and then some other information on that page. I'll go ahead and flip back to, well, I'll actually show some of the other stuff here too. We got a Denver Stapleton map, concourse A and B, which is where a lot of their operations were out of, and then Chicago, Terminal 2, concourses E and F, and then there's the full map of O'Hare, and then Stapleton is on that page. And the route map is also in here. It's split up between the terminal map, so you can see Sioux Falls is going to be right in there, but it'll be on the other side of this route map. I don't really like this design. It's a bit flawed in my opinion. So yeah, there you can kind of see Sioux Falls in there. And then I'll go ahead and flip to that page so I can show you the services that we had at the time. So in comes the Sioux Falls page, and we had direct service to Denver and also Moline, Davenport, or the Quad Cities, whatever you want to call it. Those are the various flight numbers that we have in there, and everything else is all connecting through Denver or wherever else. So nothing really exciting in here. And they have the coding and decoding for all the different cities. No advertisements in here, surprisingly. There's some freighter schedules, so you can pause to read. And on the back, you can see an image there of a Weston property, Partners in Travel, and a November-December 82 schedule. And then we have a timetable from the very next day. This is American Airlines Domestic International Timetable, effective November 1st of 1982, with a beautiful 767 on the front cover, right when they debuted the type in their fleet. And then I'll show the back cover here too, which has a bunch more information on the 767, so feel free to pause to read. And then the little American Airlines logo on the bottom. General office information, passenger information, your usual stuff that they have at the front. And they didn't serve Sioux Falls at this time, but they do have a nice little route map in here, or a destination map rather. So there's all the US stuff, some stuff to London as well, and also down in the Pleasure Islands as they called it, and then Brazil and Hawaii. Looking really nice there. So I'll just go and show a random city here. Whenever lucky city, I'll just flip through it randomly here. All right, got a page, select it, and we're gonna do Mexico City in this case. You can see this is how they structured everything, looking really nice. Very typical timetable information. So continue on the back, you got some luggage tips over here on this page and a very big American Airlines logo at the bottom of that page. American's priority parcel service. When overnight delivery isn't good enough, get it on American, get it there in hours, guaranteed. Very nice. Service is an American tradition. You see their Sabre reservation system, which was their like supercomputer at the time. Very nice stuff. There's their freight system schedules, westbound, northbound, and then some, that was, I think, yeah, more westbound and northbound stuff. And then here's their east and southbound services. American Airlines guarantees it there. You see it on that other page. Looking good there. And then some reservation numbers, and that's about it for that. Continuing on, we have another new airline to the timetable collection, and that's going to be Muse Air in this case. This is from June 4th of 1985. New service to Orlando and Tampa, St. Petersburg. On June 4th, I'll be 65, and I'm going to Florida. That is M. Lamar Muse, which is really cool. I think one of the founders of the airline. Fly for $65 if you turn 65. How about that? A fair fare for everybody. And then the Muse Air logo. It's a breath of fresh air. Now, obviously, they didn't serve Sioux Falls, and you can see that's their full route map, basically in the southern part of the U.S. and up into California. I'll just show another random city here, so I'll do Austin in this case. So here's how they did the timetables. Different letters that you see there indicate different cities, and then the zeros indicate a nonstop, and then the ones or twos, those are like your multi-stop segments, all that fun stuff. And then there's Brownsville as well, and Dallas Love Field, so you get it. Pretty standard stuff. Flight itinerary information, a code just for different service that they have on board, free cocktails, wine splits, and beer, and then also the same thing except on weekends, and then that stuff must be up for purchase if you have the $ indicated there. So pretty good stuff like that for Muse Air. Another new airline coming in, that's going to be Southwest. Just say when. A January 5th, 1988 flight schedule. The company plane is on call. Be there. Very nice. And the beautiful Desert Gold 737, prominent on the front cover. Now there's a short route, 2 free trips. Frequent flyers, 10 round trips earns you a free round trip and more. Fly Southwest. Just say when. And then some reservation numbers, all your fun stuff. And then we'll just find another random city in here. But first, there's a little advertisement. You can't shake hands over the phone. Be there. Sealing a deal is easier in person, and being there in person is inexpensive and easy, because the company plane is on call. And then there's their Just Say When slogan once again. I'll go ahead and show Tulsa. Big shout out to Red River Aviation again. He gets plenty of mentions on the channel, of course. He is pursuing that Retro Tulsa project still, from what I know. Now, has not too much progress made because he's been very busy recently. But here's a lot of Tulsa stuff in here, looking really nice. To and from various cities and connecting destinations. All your fun stuff in here. On the back, you got an advertisement with a nice little face on there. Go places you've never been, see things you've never seen, with senior fares from $19. And here's a route map on the back. You can pause here to see, and then I'll kind of zoom in on the Tulsa stuff. Look at that, Tulsa to Kansas City on there. Very nice. Hopefully that service comes back at some point. All right, now down to the 2 thickest timetables that I have in here, and these are the 2 latest timetables that I have in this video. Let's take a look at Delta Airlines worldwide timetable from June 1st of 1993. You can see all their various international destinations in major U.S. cities. I'll go and show Sioux Falls in here since they were still flying here at the time. They discontinued the service in 1994. I'll just make sure I'm not missing anything significant on the first few pages, but you have your general route map stuff, which I'll just go and show on here if I'm just gonna do it to myself. There's your route map stuff, internationals, and then US stuff in here. Delta Connection stuff, got your ASA stuff from Atlanta, DFW, Business Express, this is out of, I believe this is the East Coast, yep. And they have your Comair stuff, so this is out of Cincinnati, and then Orlando, Salt Lake City for SkyWest, and then also from California, Los Angeles, all that fun stuff in there. Follow the PGA Tour with Delta, the official airline of the PGA Tour, and then you can see the calendar for that. So if I have any golf fans watching this, I think you guys may like that. Not too many golf fans, I don't think, that watch this kind of stuff, but you never know. All right, so continue to find Sioux Falls in here. It's going to be buried in here somewhere, and there it is, right down in here. So try to find Salt Lake City or Rapid City. There's Salt Lake City. 1 direct service, and then Rapid City, which is up here somewhere. It's right there. These are on 737-300s. So there's one of the services that you have right there, and then I'll flip back just a little bit further since there's some other information. International offices, US offices, all your general information for where to call. More flight itineraries here, and then you have another advertisement. Delta Air Cargo, we can take a load off your mind to over 300 cities. And then on the back cover, serving your business is our pleasure. And they have Alamo Rent-A-Car, so one of the rental car services of the time. And there's a back cover with Delta and postage information. And then the final timetable to round things off, we have American Airlines worldwide timetable from July 1st of 1993. Discover America's Caribbean this summer. Service to 33 destinations. And you have a beautiful American A300, which I believe, yes, has the gray paint on it. So this is before Airbus introduced the natural metal finish that American wanted later. So go ahead and find Sioux Falls in here again, because they were actually serving Sioux Falls still at this time. They discontinued the service around the fall of '93, and they were still using the Fokker 100 aircraft. So go ahead and find Chicago in here, which I believe is going to be right down in, should be on the top of this page, rather. There's your Dallas stuff. Champaign, Urbana, there's Chicago right down there. 1908 and 1031, and I checked those numbers. They are on the Fokker 100, so again, I need one of those badly, and I hope I find one, or if Gemini Jets releases one again, please. That would be very nice. Airport code information on these pages, and they got a little Marshall there, which looks really cool. Some seat map information, kind of generic stuff, and then conditions of carriage, so your like code of conduct, I guess. Executive charter stuff. Some cool planes down there. Let's meet at my office at the airport, and then the fastest way to your gate at DFW, departing every 2 minutes. So this is the tram with 2 A's back when they had that, which has now been replaced by the Skylink, which operates around the entirety of DFW, which I did ride back in June. So check out that plane spotting video that I did. Very nice stuff that I got to do. American flagship service. There are a ton of advertisements here in the back. How to get from JFK to Midtown without even touching the ground. Cool stuff here. New York Helicopter and American Airlines. Cargo service stuff, and then a route map way here in the back, or destination map. No routes. So there is the full route map. Feel free to pause. Some international stuff at the bottom. Very nice. All right, so I can get this folded back up here. Get more mileage out of your credit card. You can see a Citibank credit card, American Avantage, all that fun stuff, but looking really good on there. All right, so that's it for the timetable videos. Expect another one here in the next week or two whenever I get that shipment in. Yes, I'm ordering a lot of timetables. I'm trying to build up my timetable collection here. But overall, I think we're doing really good on the timetables, and it's much easier to collect these just because it's way cheaper. than the model planes because they cost like $50, and most of these timetables, they're less than like $10 or so. Some do go for more, but it's usually a lot of the older ones that do go for way more, especially if they are of a valued carrier like Pan Am or Braniff, TWA. Even I've seen some like local service carriers like the Continental, for instance. Those have gone for a lot as well. But I did find one for a really good price, so I have that on the way. More to come in that upcoming video. So, with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.